What is going on,
Good
people?
morning.
How are you, Jennifer Lacey?
I'm good. I'm just finishing my breakfast, so I'm good. Good morning, Adam.
Is that where's
Good morning.
Hootie Hoo in the house? What's up, big dog?
He did. He took himself off the screen, even though the tribe have said that they want more Adam.
Yes. Did you? I saw a poll. Jen, can you tell us a little bit about the poll?
I'll tell you about the poll because of the jaded, biased poll that got put out yesterday, based on a conversation we were having, and so I had to follow up with a little more balanced poll because, like, again, that's what happens when you take it and you lead it.
I think right now the new poll, the SAT poll, right now is saying more Adam.
Yes.
They want more Adam on the screen. So Adam, the tribe has spoken. What do we call them? The tribunal
Council, the tribunal council.
That's right. Oh my goodness, we got tons of people coming in. So today we're going to be talking about what are we talking about?
Relationships.
Oh my God, relationships. The thing you can build anything upon.
Yes.
And but before we get into that, we're gonna, of course, shout out all our tribe members that are here with us right now.
Yes.
So we got Mr. Buddy Brumley. He was waiting at the door saying, "Open."
Open.
Ian
He was
Smith.
like, he was doing that last night.
He texted us like, "Hey, get y'all sleep." I love it. Ian Smith fixing to go on vacation here pretty soon. He sent me a message last night. He ordered the book, The Plumber's Edition. He says he's going to read it on vacation and give us some feedback. And it's exciting because Ian, like, he ain't going to sugarcoat it. He's going to tell us exactly what he thinks. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, Ian's got a quote in the book too.
Ian does have a quote in the book. So keep an eye out for that, Ian. Jim Gontoria says, good morning from the back deck. He must be chilling from at home. The chief marketeer, Steve Martin, says, here we go, baby. Yes. Miss Sarah Strand. Hello, Sarah. How are you? Coming in, still hanging out with us.
Good morning.
Man, you're going to like this one, Jen. What do you think about his poll recommendation?
Okay, first of all, I feel like he's always a little bit like, let's see how we can stir this up. And, I mean, that's kind of how he approaches it, and I feel like that's what he's doing. He's like, yes, let's just stir the pot a little bit.
Yes. Thank you, Will. I love it. Oh, look, we got Miss Yesenia. What's going on?
Good morning.
All these Dallas people, heads up. I'm gonna be in Dallas here, in a couple weeks.
Yes.
So maybe we all get together and start some problems, start some fires out there. Dr. M coming. Oh man, thank you for making it, Dr. M. I know you had like a little bit of an overlap with some stuff going on. 6:30 p.m. in Mumbai. The Dr. M vodcast still going strong. Check them out. And Adam says that the latest poll is
whatever. Yeah, we've been down that road. Yeah. The two of y'all jumped on it whenever it was about me. Now all of a sudden it's a little more balanced, and it's like fake news. Whatever.
Look at that, Miss Amy coming in from North Carolina. How you doing, Miss Amy? Oh man, can't wait to hear people's voices this evening after the live stream on the after party.
Have you put the link
everybody checking in? Also, if you're a first timer or if you're like a little shy out there and you've been regularly hanging out with us, drop a blue heart in the comments so that we can give you some love. Like we want the NoBS tribe to know you're there, and drop a little blue heart so we can recognize you and people can connect with you, because we're all about connection, right? We're all about supporting each other and growing this community.
Yes, go back to Bruce, because we need to do our crosses out and send him like he's at the dentist.
Yeah.
So lots of crosses out, lots of blessings
for Bruce.
Yes, to Bruce because he's at the dentist this morning.
Yeah. So clarification on the statement till he goes out to get drilled. He's going to the dentist today.
Yes.
Oh, look, Mr. Daniel Pinkham. So I got to have a conversation when I was out at the tiny home, the Zen tiny home.
Yes.
Daniel and I got to connect, coming in from Maine. Super awesome, super smart, super cool. Anybody ever looking for like some continuous improvement, scientific, real, like down and dirty stuff? He is your guy.
Nice.
And we got
Welcome,
Ultra Steve Turner. Good morning. He's out training again. I think he has like a short 100-mile run coming up.
Yeah. when Jesse's running like his 2.5 miles in the morning.
I got 6 miles tomorrow, 6.2 miles.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And you're welcome to join, girl. Come on.
Well, Steve's like, that's pocket change.
Pocket change. Matt coming in from Colorado.
Hello.
Matt and I are going to be doing a live stream tomorrow.
Oh, what about?
I'm not sure yet.
Of course.
You know
just style. Let's just show up.
Faye, oh man, he's been with us since the very, very beginning. He says, happy to be here again. It's 10:45 in Nigeria. How you doing, Faye? Good to see you, my man.
Yes,
glad you're out there thriving. Ian says he's going to North Bridgeton, Maine on vacation next week with the book.
Of course.
Got to throw that in there with the book. And then Miss Valerie Hendricks says, good morning with a little bit of sunshine. Oh,
wait. You missed this. Is Ian in Frisco?
Ian's in Frisco, yeah.
Ian, like, how are you here and we haven't connected yet?
Mm-hmm.
You're like 30 minutes away from me. We've got to like figure that out.
Yes. Yeah. No, I'm telling you, when I come up there, we'll have a party.
Yes, we need to do like a whole tribe party, but I don't even know how that even happened. How did I not know that?
Oh yeah. And that's if he's in town, because like he has regional responsibilities, so he may be traveling. So NoBS crosses out for Bruce. Let's send him some good vibes while he's getting his teeth worked on, or tooth, or whatever it is. Oh, look at that. NoBS Daniel's connecting already, saying, Ian, I'm gonna be right by you, baby. Let's hang out.
There you go.
That's what it's all about.
What we do.
And that's like kind of perfect, right? It ties to the subject of today of relationships, the one thing that you can build anything upon. So there you go. Ian covers 10 states. Sounds good. He's been in Frisco since 05.
Okay,
Jennifer.
so in between all your traveling to all over, we need to connect because this is my home. Like I live here in the Dallas area. So yes.
Yes. Also, y'all, so we got something going on Wednesday, Jen?
We do. So we're still figuring out what it is. But so next Wednesday, Jesse and I are leading a webinar for the Lean Construction blog free webinar series that every month they put out a free webinar for people to sign up for. And Jesse and I are doing one Wednesday, 10 o'clock Central, 10 to 11:30 Central, focusing on the people side of Lean and doubling down on relationships. So there may be some duplications from today carried over into that. But yes, we have that next week.
Yeah, next week. No, that's this week.
I mean, this upcoming week. How about that?
Okay, this Wednesday. It's right after Tuesday, before Thursday.
Yes.
Oh, look, we got the celebrity, Miss Alex. How are you doing, Miss Alex? Are you eating any froyo? Because froyo's my favorite, y'all, if y'all didn't know. We got to let Alex know because she doesn't believe me. Oh, we got Janet coming in from San Antonio, baby. How you doing, sister? Oh, man, love it. And then Bruce says he's off. Oh, double extractions.
Ooh. Separation from two teeth.
He's separating the relationship from two of his teeth. Oh, man. Take care of yourself, Bruce. We'll be thinking about you. So we have, things, I guess, things have been blasting off. And of course, y'all get a chance, go to the NoBS page on LinkedIn. And another thing came up recently. we do have people joining from Facebook and YouTube, and like they've expressed interest in being connected in the chat that we have, the secret green heart chat that we have, but they're not on LinkedIn. And it's like, man, it's kind of stinky. So if you're brave and willing to go out and create a LinkedIn page or profile, whatever it's called, we'd love to connect with you there. We're hyperactive on LinkedIn. That doesn't mean like the live streams really just go out onto Facebook and to YouTube, but on LinkedIn is where all the drama ensues, where the awesome poll about Jen is up and running right now. And you know what? I did my research, Jen, right? Like we've been going back and forth about the early release of the Plumber's Edition, and it was Kirby who started it. Kirby was the first one.
Really?
Yes, it's all Kirby's fault.
Okay.
All Kirby's fault. So I am innocent. I'm a victim.
First of all, never are you innocent. So you and Kirby could have had coffee. Y'all could have had a conversation. Y'all live in the same place. So that's fine. Put it off on Kirby. Kirby could have even put it out there. I have no doubt that there was some other conversations going on.
You know, I love it.
So Mr. Thomas. Okay, you finish that, and then we'll talk about what the Plumber's Edition even means.
Yeah. So Thomas coming in from North Carolina, Charlotte. Someday I'm gonna need some training on. Like I hear them say the upstate. Like I hear that a lot. The upstate. I don't know what that means. If that's like a South Carolina thing, a North Carolina thing. New Yorkers say it too. I don't understand it. Okay, look, Daniel, Blue Heart, first timer. People connect with them, give them some love. That's what it's all about, baby.
Yes.
Look, so Jesse calling me out.
Kirby said good. Yes. Jesse twists everything. So that completely makes sense. So, Jesse, can you say a little bit about like what do you mean this Plumber's Edition? What are you talking about?
Yeah. So the Plumber's Edition. So the book is out. If y'all are connected with Rafael, he just posted a picture of it, right? And so we've been working on the book. The book has been out, like it's available on Amazon right now. What is available right now is the rough, uncut version, right? So, and you know me, like it's got to be perfect. I don't want any errors in there. Right, perfect grammar, perfect punctuation. No, I'm joking. I don't really care. So it's out there. It's kind of been out there. The reason we put it out there like that was so that we could order it ourselves and like feel it and smell it and see if we like it. And then I got a little antsy about it. I ended up getting it in my hand and kind of flashed it a little bit. And so the tribe has responded and they're like, man, I want the uncut version. And I'll get the new version. So like some of the differences, like the minor difference is the grammar. It has content in it right now. Some of it will not be in the final edition. And also in the final edition, there's going to be a whole lot more super cool doodles, very animated, colorful doodles by the illustrious illustrator, Jennifer Lacey. So we are very close to releasing and really getting the word out about the new book, the English Teachers Edition. And so heads up, y'all, Friday, the 29th, we are planning to have a live stream about the book and to publish, to get the word out, let people know about it. And then on Saturday, on the 30th, if you guys are interested, keep an eye out for posts and stuff. We're going to have a Zoom, where we can all like get together and y'all can razz us about it, talk about it, show your book, give us your feedback. We want to celebrate with you because it's because of y'all that we're where we're at, like 100%. What do you think, Jen?
Yes, 100%. And you and I, you've pushed it out there. You've kind of shown it. You've flashed it. We've done some, we have some people that have it in their hands. And as much as I've been like, just wait, we're like not there yet. But I know people are excited about it. And I think the cool thing, and it kind of hit me yesterday, is they are the same content. And that, but the plumber's edition is that uncut kind of rough one that doesn't have all the commas and the quotation marks and the periods. And it may have some, some things that, we did cut some things, but we also added some content because maybe we needed to dig into something a little bit more. So it's the same book, but there is going to be some pretty significant differences. As Adam says, it's about 20 to 25 new noodles, which is new doodles. He's created this new word. So we have, like additional, visuals in there and things like that. So
yes.
So that the English teacher edition, the one that's a little more scrubbed and clean, is coming out in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be out there. And we got Mr. L.R. Whedon saying good morning all. He's got some LinkedIn bugs.
Amy, get him. You need to connect with Amy Campbell. She's in the chat. Amy is all about anybody that comes in that doesn't quite show up right. It's some settings you have. So we don't see you. Jesse sees you. We want to make sure that when people see in your commenting, they can see your name. So Amy's about to jump all over it, and she'll tell you what you need to do so that your name comes through.
Yeah. Look at that. Ian showing some love. Plumber's edition sounds like his style. Ian, here's the challenge. If you can find the promiscuous doodle, and let us know, because there is a naughty little doodle in there that I had to nix that, like, negative Jennifer. This is a family-friendly book.
That little line, like it's a little line that it was in a small picture that nobody noticed, and as soon as our editor, amazing Kim White, like blew it up and put it in a different place in the book, it was like, oh, we gotta like get rid of that line. It made it made it a little bit worrisome.
So we got some good comments regarding the book, but I'm gonna table those and come back to them later because we're like 17 minutes in.
Okay. Yes.
And we'll for new people, they're gonna be like, "What the? Is this just a big giant commercial?"
No, not yet.
So this idea about relationships, like the one thing that you can build anything upon. You and I, we had our last live stream where you ripped me open again, right? Open my guts up for the world to see, which was good. We had our reflection. And it, for whatever reason, it led me to think about my business, right? Like I just recently started my business. And the way things are going, it has blown my mind, right? Like, so I left full-time work. I think it was April. And my plan was for May, June, and July to get all my systems, contract, like all the stuff, get all of that set up over this period of time. And then in August, start pounding the pavement to get work.
It's not working out.
It's not working out.
What do you mean, Jesse? Why is it not working out?
It's not working out. I've already executed two gigs, 2 contracts. And I've got 3, 4 that are proposals that are out that are very likely to like turn into goes. And it's a result of, it's really 100. I'm thinking about it like, man, why is this happening this way? This isn't, it's totally unanticipated. And it's, I guess as it ties to the last conversation that we had, the 6 years of me being sober, I've changed the way I live. I show up. My purpose is to serve. And Kirby's the one that helped. She put this in my head way back because I was explaining to her, like, I'm not sure, like, I'm going to do it. And I'm kind of crazy that way. I've got money to sustain me for 18 months and I'm just going to give it a shot until that money dries up. And she's like, yeah, Jesse, but you've been laying the foundation. Shout out to Walker and Davis. You've been laying this foundation for a long time. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, like you've always been talking about the trades and you're always wanting to help people with their systems and help people have a higher quality of life. Like it's going to work. Like, well, thank you for the vote of confidence, but it's like, it's working already. And it's because of the relationships that I have with people. And you know, in one case it's you and I, somebody that you recommended. In other cases it's people that I've worked with over the years that are like, it baffles me, because they're like, yeah, of course we want you, and this is why we want you. And it's very specific to the way I show up, the way I serve. And I just didn't see that, right? And so I'm building a business, the foundation of which are the relationships that I have. And so if I zoom out a little bit more away from just my business, I think about the NoBS tribe and what's grown from that, and people supporting each other, getting to know each other. I mean, here's an example, right? Amy's like, yeah, Mr. Whedon, send me a message. I'll take care of you, right? Like, super connected. We have the after parties where, you know, I will recognize Steve Martin's voice anywhere I go, because, you know, we haven't met in person. But the time.
You heard him sing, but that's okay.
What's that?
Heard him sing, so that's another.
Yeah, we have heard him sing. But it's like, it's all of these things that the relationships and the connections that continue to develop, what's growing from that it's super, super powerful. And then, you know, if we go think about job sites, I mean, really, I guess that's kind of where I'm at right now with it all, is what can't be built upon relationships, right? Or the inverse of that. What is trying to be built out there that is kind of teetering and maybe not coming up as we like it to go? And could it be because there is a lack of focus on relationships?
I agree 100%. Like, and I want to add to your question is, what out there doesn't start with a relationship?
So that's a question for the tribe.
Right. Like, what's out there? What our workspace, anything that doesn't start with some connection with another human being. So, but I want to go back to what's happened in the last couple months with you. So before you made the leap to come out and be on your own, and you know, and do this only, you know, from Jesse's style, only Jesse's perspective, not having to be under a corporate umbrella.
Yep.
What were some of the concerns? Because I mean, again, your background, trades, GC, you were in the owner arena. What were some of the concerns and some of the hesitations that you were dealing with to not take that leap? Like, what were the things in your mind that were kind of keeping you from doing it? Like, is it gonna, Kirby confirmed it's gonna be great, and you were like, yes. Okay, that's great, Kirby, but like, what was keeping you from just pushing the button?
Oh, it was simple. It wasn't complicated at all. There were two things I needed to do. One was save up a specific dollar amount of cash, which I had done that. I already had that a while back. The second thing was to build a house. And that didn't happen, right? And the reason I had to, like, in my head was build a house was because I had to have a full-time job, to like a real job, to get financing to build the house. Mm-hmm. The property I own is in a historic district. It's right by Mission Concepcion here in San Antonio. And so it was it was so much stuff that I had to rezoning and blah, blah, blah. It was just taking too long. And at the same time, what was happening is the tribe, right, was growing. You and I had been live streaming already for I don't know how many months. And so there were a lot of requests for help, for services that I had to say no to because I had a full-time job. So now I'm like, damn it, I can't wait another year and build this darn house. So then I said, okay, I need to buy a house. I could do that more faster. So I bought the house. And then after that, it was getting straight with the people I was working with. Like, hey, I got to make a move. And I don't want to leave you high and dry. How can we do this such that it serves both of us? And so that was it. I bought the house. I think it was within a month, somebody told me, like, you're the only person I know that would say, I need to buy a house so I can quit my job. Like, that doesn't work. But anyhow, so that was it. Like, I was not hesitating because I was concerned that that I wouldn't get business or that it wouldn't work. It was that those two structural elements, the money and having bought the house. But the fact remained, I had an idea that hadn't been proven yet. And so it was proving the idea that was in question, but it wasn't going to keep me from taking the leap. You already know. I mean, Miss Stephanie Brown already knows, right? I'm kind of like, let's just jump, baby. Let's just jump.
Because that must have been the only time you've ever not just like you needed in your mind to prove something before you did something, because that's not your MO at all.
No. I think of my decisions kind of in echo form. Like, I make the decision and then I get the echo back of like, oh, you just did that. Like, oh yeah. It's not the other way around.
Hence Rafa's whole book review. It's like, thank you, Rafa, for the book review that we haven't even marketed yet. We appreciate that.
Yep.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, so we got some beautiful points here from the tribe. So to the question that we asked, Thomas says compliance requires no relationship.
But okay, let's go there, because when we talk about compliance, yes, we usually it's a I tell somebody to do something and they do it. It's still two people having to have a connection, and that can still be toxic and it can still be positive. So there's still some type of relationship there, and it could be a boss with a subordinate. It can be a leader with someone that they're trying to help, build a foundation of those policies and those procedures and those things that have to be done before you can, be creative and think of something else. So yes, compliance is not so much, you have all this freedom and you have all this autonomy and things like that. But I still feel like it still needs a connection if it's going to be two people working together. What do you think, Jesse?
Yeah, I think I agree with both of you, right? So one, compliance doesn't require a relationship because you're supposed to do it or you don't, right? There's speed limit sign, you comply or you don't. There's consequences to whether you do or you don't. So I think that's a fact. That's easy. Now, on the other side of it, with a lot of folks in the workspace that have compliance type responsibilities, their relationship skills are the differentiator in terms of their success and their ability to serve. And so, I mean, Ian's a perfect example, right? He's a safety guy, safety professional, EH&S professional. I hope I'm saying it the right way. And Ian places tremendous value on relationships and connecting with people. And because of that, he's able, he just said it, right? He's responsible for 10 states, for supporting 10 states and a big giant team. If he didn't invest in the relationship part of it, he would less likely be in the situation and have the influence that he has right now. So I don't think you need relationships to drive compliance, but I think with relationships, compliance becomes easier.
Okay, I keep going back to even in compliance, and my brain goes to like on one of our job sites, there's a flagger in very black and white what his job is. Like, and so he needs you to make sure you're keeping people safe. You're making sure the cars, the things that are allowing the construction site to flow. There's some, that's his job. That's compliance, black and white. That's what his job is. So someone had to sit with him and kind of break that down for him. Here's what you need to do. And if you don't do these things, people could get hurt. There's things that can happen. But there's also like when they had that conversation, is it compliance focused? Is it, this is the black and white, or is it, that's a person that is also going to be in charge and to help other people? And how was that conversation? And so if I'm talking to them and I'm saying, here's your job, but also like, you're going to have people coming by, you're going to start building, you're going to start seeing people multiple times a day. You're going to see, and so the more that you are able to kind of, they know who you are, you know who they are, you're going to be able to start building relationships with them, then that's only going to let them see the value of what you have. To me, it's still compliance, but you're now looking at it from a completely different perspective than just, here's the black and white of your job.
Yeah, I think we're saying the same thing, right? Like, you don't need the relationship to have compliance.
Okay.
And think of the cops. Yes. They ain't you don't, maybe you know them, or like maybe they're your friend, or maybe you just know them because they're always putting jewelry on your wrist like me. But they don't need to be, there doesn't have to be a relationship for them, for their function to exist. Now, when they're super cool, open-minded, etc., that's a whole different experience, and it's a longer lasting experience. Like Ian says it, right? If you want people to comply, you don't need to be a cop. You can influence people and have them self-realize what the right behavior or action looks like. So yes, the relationship augments the experience or enhances the experience, but you really don't need it. I mean, because I know I functioned that way for a long time. Like, well, broke the rule, boom, here's a write-up. This is what you're supposed to do. Oh, you failed to do it. Well, I didn't fail. Like, okay, well, you didn't succeed. So what's the other option?
Right.
And it was harder. It was lonelier. But the rules were the rules. So to make those happen, I didn't need to have an investment in the relationship, but
the investment, that's
right. Investing in relationships totally transformed that interaction. And so,
goes back to leader to manager or leader to boss. Like when you're a leader with your people versus when you're just, the investment is, to me, is the key.
Yeah. So no, that's a perfect point, right? So now I've been flirting around with this idea about, because for a long time I've always said there is a hard difference between a leader and a manager, and I think I'm shifting my mind to say there are leadership skills and managerial skills, and having a mixture of both is really, really important. Very similar to your messaging, Jen, about we can be lean and continuous improvement and innovate, but if you can't build, what the hell are you doing? I mean, that's not your language, but
that's exactly what it is.
So in order to be very, to provide tremendous value, I've got to have some managerial skills. Mm-hmm. And one really key leadership skill is the ability to build relationships and build connections with other human beings. And that makes the managing of the stuff way, way smoother, way easier. What do you think?
Right. Absolutely. And I've said this 1,000 times, and I say it internally in my job that I do within Robbins and Morton, but it's a balance. It's a scale that goes back and forth, and compliance and continuous improvement. And we have one of our amazing senior superintendents or division superintendents. He says, and for us, it's, building forward, it's getting better, continuous improvement. And he's like, if you can't build, you can't build forward. And everyone's like, I'm like, that's legit.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know how to do the basic fundamentals of building, how do you improve upon building? And for us, it's construction and stuff like that. But like, if you can't do the basic policies and procedures, compliance, be able to do the basic fundamentals of your job, you can't be in this space of continuous improvement, getting better. How are we, all those things. Like you can't live in that space if you don't have that foundation.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like gangsta, straight up OG wisdom.
Yes.
And so Thomas says, gentlemen, the relationship from compliance is trust, right? Yes. To do the thing when no one is watching.
Yes.
Oh, he brought the trust. We're going to have to come back to that trust.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe one of the ingredients for relationships. But Yesenia also says it's not the service or the product. It's the way you make them feel. People want to work with people they trust. Trust again coming up.
But as people want to matter, and we've said that. I mean, we've said that a lot. But like, we're humans. So when I interact with you, Jesse, like when you leave, you want to feel like, okay, I matter to her. And or if you're talking and I'm listening to you, or I'm over talking you, and I'm okay, that's great, Bessie. But like, you want to matter in this conversation, in this connection, and if you don't feel like you matter, then like, is this really what it needs to be?
Yeah. Then it's like, what's actually happening? What is the purpose? What is your intent? What are you trying to get? What are you trying to achieve? But if I trust you, I don't have to question that. And we can and I mean, again, back to the experience that you and I are having with the book and everything else. I feel, one, I trust you immensely. And I also feel like you trust me to a degree that is maybe outside of your norm a little bit. And because of that, things just flow, like totally flow. I mean, before we started the live stream this morning, you were like, hey, I think about this. I'm like, I'm kind of lost. I'm missing it. And you're like, I don't know, Jesse, I usually throw stuff up and you jump on it or you don't. Like, I'm like, oh. And I'm like, damn, girl, like you trust me like that? Jeez, this is good. I need your PIN number and your account numbers. And so Steve brings up a point, right? He says, compliance outside of a relationship seems unfulfilling and lacks purpose.
Other than checking boxes.
Yes. I love it. And so there's a lot of people out there that get caught up in, or maybe get frustrated with the situation. Like, well, I haven't seen this, but a friend of mine, Michelle, she's told me about this scene from Friends where the couple's arguing, or maybe it's not Friends. Anyways, the couple's arguing and the guy's like having to wash dishes or something. And he's like, what's the big deal? I'm washing dishes. And she says, yeah, but I want you to want to wash dishes. And I'm like, like, no, that's not how it works. But that's like the box checky thing, right? In my head, that's what it feels like. Like, yes, I'm in a situation, or I'm leading or driving some kind of change or some kind of initiative. And I want people to want to make it better. I want people to be excited about it. And when it's lacking, it feels like, what's the purpose? We're doing the thing for the sake of doing the thing, kind of like grammar.
That's not like doing the thing for the sake of, it's like legit. When people read, I would, okay, you may be the only one, but maybe not. Most people, when they're reading something, whether it's a book or an article, and when it happens, because people miss things, when there's a misspelling, when there's a duplication of a word, like they still go, "Ooh, there's a mistake. Ooh, there's like that." Like that's just normal. For you, it's like, "Oh, cool, look at that." Like, but most people are like, "Oh, that they didn't catch that," or something like that. So it's normal for people to want like it to be, the periods to be right, the quotation marks to be right, the commas to be right.
I recognize that like I am not normal.
With lines and numbers, and that's what you're used to, like square footage, and I mean that's the stuff you worry about.
Yes, is it plumb? Is it level? Yeah, okay, let's roll, baby.
Yeah.
Well, Daniel offers this. He says, said another way, with no baseline, there can be no improvement. Yes. All right. So we got to understand the baseline. And so here's the question. What's the baseline of relationships? Or maybe the baseline of trust?
But who determines that?
Okay.
And is it one? I mean, again, relationships, if we can just start with a basic relationship is two people. Okay. It could be two companies, but they still consist of people, and those people have to have, connections and relationships. So when you have two people coming in to any type of relationship, a work relationship, a trade partner in a GC, a client in a GC, a design firm, and an owner, like whatever those relationships are, they started with a conversation. I mean, could have been an email conversation, could have been a phone conversation, could have been knowing somebody, hey, we're going to recommend this, whatever it is, started with a conversation. And when those conversations start with two people, we're just going to start with that. Like what determines where that relationship goes? And is it, and what's it based on? Like what, who determines that?
I like it. So I want to try, come on, let us know. What do you think the baselines of trust or the relationship are in this question about who determines it? I'll say from my perspective, once we get it's two people or multiple people, once it's more than just me, which I could have all kinds of fun with just me. But once there's other people in the situation, then we go through this process of articulating what our desire is or what value we're seeking, and start aligning on what that actually means. And will it be a reciprocal situation? Is this a one-way street? And I'll tell you, like, straight up, when I get the sense of this being a one direction, one way only, or like my mom says, asadón, which is like a hoe, not like a hoe like me, but like a hoe, like a gardening tool hoe. She would always say that, like, es asadón. I was like, what is? I don't understand what that means. And so if you think of a gardening tool that's a hoe, the whole action is to pull towards you. And so everything is always in your direction, and it's not serving or giving back to the other person. So when I feel that situation, I'm like, okay, my trust level is way down here because this person is only seeking to fulfill their own needs. What do you think about that, Jennifer?
Jesse, we just had a conversation about that on just the people around us in the tribe, also people that we interact with, and how much of those conversations you can, in the conversation with people that, again, we trust in our space, you can just tell by the conversation. Are they pulling it to them because of something they need, they want, they're trying to promote is that their intent and their purpose? Or when you leave there, you felt like they filled your cup with everything and they made you feel like you are empowered and you are like, you're going to walk away, bouncing a little bit more. Like, that's real. And it could just be one conversation, one interaction where you feel a little bit like, oh, I feel like I just got, I need to go take a shower, or they just took a whole lot out of me. And now I'm like completely like, I need to like stop and like reflect, or man, I'm like ready to take on the freaking world. I mean, like there's people that do those things one way or the other.
Yes. Well, and look, the tribe is speaking, right? Some of the things for trust and relationship stuff. Yesenia says those first impression feelers, right? Like, because you can feel it. You feel like, oh, this person's a little dark. This person, or this person, then like they want something and they don't even really know what they're asking for. Right. They're about to get in deep. Miss Valerie says baseline is vulnerability. I know James Gable out there loves it. He concurs and agrees 100% with this vulnerability. Just joking, James. Yesenia, again, so your gut feel talks to you without a filter. And I've heard that there's like some science behind your gut and how it can signal to you and help in your decision making. And then Sarah says transparency, right? So being clear and direct, or maybe just clear, because sometimes people don't appreciate direct or aren't used to direct, aids in that building that trust. And so for me, I've been thinking about it. I feel like, I don't know which one comes first. Maybe it's like, there's the whole thing about the chicken or the egg. And I'm like, well, I kind of like grilled chicken omelets. That way I have it all, right? I got the egg and the chicken in there. But like, is it trust? Do I need to trust to have vulnerability? Do I need to be vulnerable to have trust? Then there's like the element of respect that, you got to put that.
Didn't we have a conversation with Adam about this, where it was like, you can't have, we had a poll, I think, of what trust, like, can you have trust early, or does it have to be, or like you have to build it and find it versus at the beginning? I think
so here we go. Oh, started a fire. So Ian says he gives professional respect, but trust is earned.
Yes, so I second that. 100%.
Second that?
Yes.
Okay. Adam says vulnerability and transparency are the baseline of trust.
Which is true, but you can't walk into a room and all of a sudden feel the vulnerability and transparency. Like, it's got to be built. It's got, like, I can't walk in and go, oh, Jesse's right there. He's being vulnerable and transparent, even if he's wearing fishnet with it, whatever. Like if I walk in and he's wearing that, that's still not going to make me go, "Ooh, I can trust him." He's being completely transparent and vulnerable. Like it's got to be built. You can't just say I'm vulnerable, so you need to trust me.
Well, I'm going to challenge you on that because you're a phenomenal facilitator. And you get people to get into this brain space that they've never been in. Complete strangers.
Okay.
And so my challenge is this. It's because you come in with full trust and full vulnerability. It's not contingent on them because you don't even know who the hell they are.
True. It's how I show up.
It's how you show up. Right. So, and I'm very similar. I give trust. I give respect. Like the vulnerability part, not a problem. The transparency, no, I ain't hiding nothing. You can get what you get, take it or leave it. But I give trust and give respect, period.
I would go.
That's my responsibility in the situation. It's your responsibility to maintain it. Right? If you can violate it, then you can violate it. And I got some decisions to make. But if I come in guarded, it slows the contact. It dampens the experience and signals to people that I'm guarded, so they should be a little bit guarded. Now, talk to me. Say what you got to say.
No. Finish your thought, and then I'll add to it. Go.
Well, I just want to say, like, it's not served me entirely well, especially like in dating, because I come in like. And this is like from a professional, my therapist, Miss Danielle, she pointed this out because I come in like totally vulnerable, trusting, open, share everything, like come on in. But most people don't do that. Most people come in kind of guarded and they open they take down their defenses little by little. But for me, because I come in like spring chicken, yay, everything's going to be great and wonderful. As their defenses are coming down, my defenses are going up. And so that there's always this threat. There's this point in the relationship where they're like, wait, what happened to you? You've changed. And I'm like, yeah, because you didn't trust me. Like you didn't give me the same degree of trust. So you're getting less from me. And I don't know how to go back. What do you think about that?
No, you're speaking to me. There's like a lot of things that I want. So I'm going to start with where we were with how we show up. So in my mind, the trust and the vulnerability that we exhibit comes with a cost.
Yes.
And I want to start in the workspace because that's where you were. And then I want to transition into the personal space. So what I've realized is when I walk into a room of people that have never interacted with me before, but also most people show up guarded. We're just going to say that. Jesse, you and I are we're not normal. The way we show up is not how everyone shows up. So when we show up, it's the people that we're usually going to go engage with are guarded, or they're hesitant, or they're not sure what's about to happen. And I pour into that because I know that's where they are, that I have to be where I have to show up, but also I need to come in and hit them so hard that they're still doing this, trying to navigate through what I'm doing. And by the time they get back on their feet, we're halfway through the conversation. Like that's the way I do it, because I know that they're already waiting and stuff. But if I don't give them time to think and we just go, then they're already sharing and doing stuff and going, crap, when did I write that sticky and it's up on the board and it talks, I mean, like, and then we're there and we're talking and they're like, oh, okay, well, everyone else is doing it too. So I guess I need to do it. And again, it's my MO, but because of how I show up and I am exhibiting the behavior that I want to see, it somehow allows them to feel like, okay, I can do this. I can be in this space and I can let a little bit of that guard down. So in the workspace, absolutely. The cost for me, when you just hit on it, is in personal relationships, I show up the same way. And 99% of people are already in this space of, protection, don't want to get hurt, don't want somebody to come and I think for you, it's, you're the vulnerability, just the things that when it comes to personal relationships where someone can come and hurt you, or they can, they can do something to you. I come in with, expect nothing, appreciate everything. Like I come in with, I expect nothing could happen, but if any little thing happens, that's great. But if you screw me over, I'm just going to walk away. That's great for me, so my heart doesn't get broken. That's not great for all the people that I'm engaging with. Yeah. That doesn't make them feel like they matter. And so I will say, at a cost of me having success and being able to find what works in my workspace, I struggle with being able in my personal space to find the balance to where I don't come in and go, whatever happens here, I'm going to be okay. Up front, when someone maybe is trying to like decide, is this worth the effort? Which is probably why I'm not in a relationship, but still, for me, I struggle. It's a cost for me, the vulnerability and the trust and what I've established and how I can show up every time. Most people are not ready for that.
Agreed. It's an intensity that's beyond the norm.
Yes.
But what I did hear is there's some armor there. Like you've already have the if-then formula in. Like, I'm going to show up, I'm going to be cool, but if you slight me, gone. Right. And so that kind of reinforces Kirby's point here. The more armor someone is wearing, the more weapons it seems they must have. And I think she threw in that last piece, Principle 5 of Fierce Conversations, because I missed our study action team yesterday. Thank you for the reminder, Kirby. Amazing book, by the way. But yeah, and so that signals, right, to people, there's something else there. If you're guarded, why are you guarded? Right. So that's going to get my spidey senses up and make me say, ooh, something else is going on here. I need to be careful. And then Yesenia says, what you say, how you say it, and what you do for people matters 100%. Conscious application of these principles affirms your best practices and reveals additional options for improving relationships. Thank you for that one, Yesenia. And so, Jennifer, I heard you say that this in your personal space, there's relationship stuff. There's a point, there's a failure point where you hit eject.
Yep.
But in your workspace, in your professional space, you're 100% committed to play the long game and improve the situation.
Yes, I know that it will get there, and I am determined that even if something starts to go janky, okay, then I'm just not coming at it the right way, or we're not talking about the right things, or we don't have the right people in the room. And so I know that there's a way. But again, it's not just me. It's not just me coming in. And that's where I feel when we deal with personal relationships, it's me and another person. And so if something starts to get janky and they're here, they're there, and I'm here, and I feel like, okay, this is where I'm at and this is who I am, and I see them hesitate or not be vulnerable or not trust or something, there's some signal there. Like, I can't not bring me. And so and I think my brain goes, well, then they're just not ready for me, or I'm too much for them. And that's an easy default for me, is I'm too much. And so if I'm too much now, and then I get comfortable, and then we have, we're in a relationship that it's not going away. And so I'm like, let's just make this easy now. So
what is it that keeps you from applying the continuous improvement spirit to that jankiness in the personal relationship? And this question is not just for Jen. This question is for the tribe, but I got Jen on the table right now. So because in the workspace, you said it, right? I have it. I see the jankiness, and there's different things that I'm going to try, and we're going to get there. But in the personal space, it's like, negative, abort.
The easy answer is the workspace, even though there's people that are I'm so connected with, and they are such good friends. Like, there's not a fear they're going to break my heart. There's not a fear that they're going to break me to the point to where I'm not okay. Like, we can have some healthy conflict. We can not agree on some things, but I feel like the respect and what's been established there is, something that I can build upon. I can grow, I can learn from. And that's like, across the board. Now, again, I'm not usually in one space for an extended period of time because of my role. I'm touching a lot of people and doing a lot of different things, but the relationships that are there, I get pulled in and then I'm able to be there, and then they can pull me back in later. But in the personal space, I feel like the end result could, and based on just past experience, is you could break me. And I'm not okay with that. And I know that happens. And I know that people get hurt, and I know that relationships end, but right now I'm in control where I can just not get into it.
Yeah.
And good, bad, or indifferent, and that's just where I'm at, to where I'm just like, I'm not even going to give you the control or the power to do that. And that's not fair to the people probably that, are out there that maybe are trying to engage, but that's just based on experience and previous circumstances. I'm just not willing to do it.
Yep. Well, thank you, Jen, for being transparent and vulnerable. I'm gonna let the heat off, take my foot off the gas. But that exact thing, I believe what you just described is what people also experience in the workspace.
Because they've got hurt, they've got burned, they've got attacked, they've got beaten, they've got, just the hammer on and whatever. Yes.
Right. They've been taken advantage of. They've been neglected. So why would they put so much on the table? Because there's a lot at risk.
Yes.
Right. There's a lot at risk. And Daniel brings this to us, says doing what you say you will when you say you will for mutual benefit. Like it's those. Thank you, Daniel. That's beautiful. It's that type of behavior that creates the psychological safety, right? Where people start saying, okay, we're playing a different game here. Okay, these are different people here. So I can be a more authentic version of myself. But I'm like, again, I think it's natural. I think it's even responsible to just dip your toe in the water and gradually get in there. I don't know, because that's not my style, but I think it's okay that they do that. But if we're in a situation where it feels checkboxy still, are people doing what they say they're going to do when they say they're going to do it for the greater good, for mutual benefit? And maybe those are some guiding questions to do some self-reflection on. I mean, the other thing with that is when we identify okay, maybe not everybody is doing that. Okay. How about you go talk to the people that aren't doing it? What do you think about that, Jennifer?
No, I want to ask you a question. And it may be a little deep. Now, we've hit on this earlier in a previous live stream on kryptonite and the things that what's the kryptonite that really can kind of completely just decimate us, demolish us, get us to go in a different direction. So you've talked about yours. So if we can, because I think it plays right into this conversation. What is your kryptonite when it comes to people and things that you've kind of shied away from, but also that maybe plays into the relationships that you're in or the relationships that you're not in?
So these are kind of weird. So there's a couple of things. One is, I don't want to say, how do I say it? So rude. I say rude, but this is what I mean. I've been out with people, and when I see the way they treat other people, like complete strangers, waiters, holding a door open for somebody, or somebody holds a door open and they don't say thank you, or they're very dismissive to the wait staff or very critical of a stranger, that's you just lost points. That is not cool at all. The other kryptonite when it comes to that situation is if everything is about if they don't have a mindset to do stuff for, what's the word? Son of a gun. Generosity. If they lack generosity, this is not going to happen. And I don't mean giving me stuff. I mean generous in sharing their gifts and talents with the world, with people.
I'm going deeper. I'm asking the second question here. So
okay.
When we talked about kryptonite before, your story was about you were in school and you gave your heart to a little girl and then she moved away, and then how that made you feel, just getting
the abandonment. Yeah.
So go into that a little bit on what is that shield and that guard for you? What did it do? And then now how do you show up that maybe tries to offset that a little bit?
Yeah. No. So abandonment is like the fear that's the greatest fear I have. And that came up from, there's a book, I think it's called Silent Seduction. And no, it's not one of those naughty books. It's a really good book. But it helped me understand why I had this behavior cycle of learning, understanding what people want from me, particularly women, giving it to them, and then resenting them for it. And so the resentment comes from, why couldn't you just accept me the way I was? Why did I have to do all this extra stuff? But like the mal thinking what comes from my childhood, right? Of seeking approval from the adults in my life and doing the things to gain their approval, getting special attention. But then because life is life, they go and be adults, which takes the special attention away from me. So now I've been abandoned. Like I did all this stuff and now I'm not, like, I did it so I could get this thing and you're taking it away. And so that's been a recurring theme in my life for a very, very long time. So how I've adapted to that, one, I had to become aware of it. Two, the way I've adapted is, we talked about it on the last live stream, is like, I'm going to be me. Like I'm really just not going to change my behavior. You know, I'll try not to cuss when I'm doing like an in-person professional thing, and I'll shave and dress nice or whatever, because I'm going to dress the way I like to dress, but I'm going to dress nicer, right?
No fishnets, but
well, fishnets sometimes. But I'm going to be me because that's what I feel good about. And you get to choose that. You get to receive that fully or not. And so what that does is it helps me eliminate that resentment that I was building into my life by changing my behavior to gain your approval. Does that help? Does that answer the question, Jen?
No, it does, but I'm going to ask another one now.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, that's exactly the abandonment that we dug into that on some previous live streams, but how does that play into personal relationships for you?
What's that?
Like the fear of abandonment. Because I just said like how I show up and how I will not, what keeps me from probably giving my 100% to something is the fear of, am I going to get hurt and things like that. So that fear of abandonment, you just acknowledge, I'm just going to show up as me.
Yeah.
And I had to get to that place. And so if we look at that from, I know work relationships are different. And I know just like you gave me full credit for how I show up, I know how you show up at work. And I know that you're able to navigate through those things. But when it comes to personal relationships, does that still play in your head as when you're going and starting a conversation with someone that potentially could be, something that could turn into a relationship? Do you still like,
I follow now.
Yourself?
Yeah, it's not like it used to be kind of a reaction. Now it's a straight up decision. And so here it is. I know all the things that I have going on, all the stuff that I'm involved with are really, really important to me. I'm not against being in a personal relationship, right? But like I kind of got to be on the catch and release program because I also know that I am not willing to give the amount of time that a thriving romantic relationship requires. I know this already. And when I have tested, right, I've run many tests, many experiments, tested the thing out. It always sounds like, no, like this is great. We'll leave it like this. I'm not going to ask for more. Okay, good. But that's not true. That doesn't happen. Because even for me, I want more of whatever that is. But I have these other things that are just a greater priority to me. And then what happens is they want more time. So I'll give them a little bit more time, thinking that it's going to satiate the request and that they won't want more time. But they do want more time. And that right there creates this cycle again. If I got to change just for you, like it's not a reciprocal return. Fundamentally, though, I know that I am not prepared or willing to give the amount of time a thriving romantic relationship needs. And because I know that, it's just not smart for me to even entertain trying to make this one work, or maybe this is the one, right? Because I don't want, because in the process, I'm hurting them too, right? They're feeling neglected, they're feeling underserved, and it's all I got. It's the best I can do. And when my best isn't good enough, that doesn't feel good for me. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes, and you and I have talked about this, but for me, exactly what you just said, like ditto, second that. But I've got an 11 and a 13-year-old.
Yes,
and that's another element of anything. Like right now, our work is a lot, and we put a lot into it, and we get a lot from it. I will own that. I will acknowledge that. But I also know that in relationships that I've tried and have been in, the resentment of having to devote time to a relationship that takes away from my two girls is not fair to anybody. And especially not fair to my two girls, much less someone that is not their fault, that they just want more time, which is exactly what you just said, because that's normal. That's a normal cadence of someone trying to build a personal relationship that I just, in my mind, I just can't do that right now because of these two girls that like need anything they can get from me outside of, I still have a whole lot of stuff that I do for work as well. So it's like, it's not there. And I just don't think it's fair to anyone by entertaining it or going down that road, catch and release, whatever that is. But like any of that takes away from the things that right now are priority.
Yes. Well, we got Miss Cindy Becerra. Hello, Cindy. Welcome.
Yes.
I think that's the first time I recognize.
I know. I've never seen that name before. Woo.
Welcome and thank you for contributing. Yes. And she put like straight up, like this is for real. This is truth. Mm-hmm. More time may be their love language. Absolutely. So if you haven't read the 5 love language, I think it's 5, the 5 love languages, there's some important concepts in there. And that more time, quality time, like that is my love language, right? Like if you got your phone in front of you and we're talking, I got to go run. I'm going to go run. Y'all, you keep playing with your phone. Some people like gifts, some people like affirmation, but understanding that is really important. And yes, Cindy, that may be their love language. And for me, it's like, okay, I understand that. And I cannot fulfill it.
I'm out.
Like, I just need to be honest about it.
Like, peace out. I'm gone.
Done. Gotta go. So I just posted the link to the after party. So if you guys here, we've got about 8 minutes left. 9:20 Central Time, we'll be kicking off the after party so we can talk and hear each other's voice and have some more communication about this. Steve, no, I'm sorry, not Steve. Alan, we got Alan in the comments bringing some really, really big ideas, valuable stuff that he's talking about. So check him out. Follow Alan because he's awesome. He's covering our face now. Did I freeze or did you freeze? Anyhow, hang on a second. So Alan says, what's been helpful for me as a reframing for creating boundaries within relationships? What other people think is none of your business. Control what you can control. For example, what boundaries are. If you believe in this way, I will have to disengage to protect my peace. Ooh, I love that. What boundaries are not, you are less of a person if you behave this way with me. You need to change. Agreed, 100%. Did I lose you, Jen? I did lose Jen. Okay, so I guess I'm still live, y'all. 7 minutes to go. Adam brings to us expect nothing, appreciate everything. Oh, so Adam put a hashtag before it. So that means he owns it. He stole that directly away from Jennifer because that's one of her regular sayings out there. And I want to go back to, oh, there you are. There you are. Dang, Jen, where did you go?
Did you just freaking kick me off? Like, I don't even know what just happened.
No, you just like disappeared. So I just kept rambling here.
Well, good. Now you know how it feels.
Yeah. Look, I got Dan. He said, Jesse, you're solo. Yes. Thank you, Daniel. So we got Jen back up on the stage. 6 minutes left. And I want to go back to, I kind of cut the team off where we were talking about the book.
After
right?
parties.
Matt says, how do you get autographed copies? Well, I know one way. We will be having a book signing event, a live NoBS pop-up in New Orleans in October.
Yes.
So come hang out with us there. You ready for that one, Jen?
I am, and it's going to blow up. And it sounds like, again, probably more information anybody knows, but I think Joe and Keon may be doing something another day that week with a lean builder happy hour or something kind of cool. So
nice.
Yeah, there'll be some fun stuff there also. So super excited about that week.
Yep. So autograph copies. And then if we can work something out anytime between now and then, let's just do that.
Because don't you have something next week that you're going to like post about a book signing or maybe something,
Oh, we can't be doing posts about the book. Like it's not official yet. What are you talking about?
Whatever. You've already done it. You've already opened the dang door.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for our first post about the book. And it's going to be on my personal profile page.
Yes.
And Buddy says publicly, any swag to go with the book? Uh-oh. What's that, Jen?
I don't know. It's just, there's some stuff out there, like maybe some NoBS stuff, but we gotta kind of get with Steve because make sure it's all marketing, all the brand
marketing approved. Christy says, New Orleans, big giant heart.
Lean Construction Institute's National Congress that we will be at in that week, like the third week in October, I think. So.
Yeah. Yep. So as it comes closer, and if there's any other stuff that comes up, I mean, hell, we're going to be in Dallas here in a couple of weeks. So
yes,
bring your book. We'll sign it.
Yes.
And no, Jen, you're not allowed to get the rubber stamp. You're going to have to sign it with like a pen for real.
Well, I sign it and I'll even draw a doodle. How about that? It'll be level up from you in your signature.
Yes. Bring it on. Okay. So closing it up, we got 3 minutes to bringing us back to the topic, right? And I love this. Thomas says trust plus respect is relationship currency, right? Yes. And so if we think about it, that may help some of us thinking about it in terms of currency. Having trust and respect for people is what you invest in the relationship.
Yep.
Invest. And with investments, there's risk.
There's also reward.
So scared man can't win, baby. You got to put some money on the table to keep playing.
Yes.
He also says that some like really deep thinking philosopher had a great point in a previous stream. Says you can't buy trust and respect, but you can mine and refine it. Man, whoever said that, that's relationship material right there. Watch out.
How's that working out for you, Jess?
Oh, Jen's okay. Closing thought.
No, I this conversation again, it can branch off into a bunch of other ones. I think you and I love that how we came together and how we started talking and how this fostered from our 5S stuff that now is about to be, it is a book but also this platform. And it comes down to, and I'm going to say it every time, and you gave me credit for it, but I know you show up the same way, is we show up with trust and vulnerability and transparency. And we believe in the good in people. We believe in what's there. We cultivate it and we try to, make it better. And that's how we show up. And I know that is why we are where we are right now, whether it's our personal connections, our relationships that we have at work, how our work has blown up, how our relationships have blown up, how this platform has blown up. And I just want to leave one thing. So we talked about the success you've had. We kind of started with that. And I want to say a lot of our connections help and we don't even know it sometimes. So I've got a call this week from someone that knows that I have a relationship with another person, and they're looking at them potentially for a position or a job. And great interview, great conversations. They called me to go, is this person real? Is this how they show up? Is this, are they genuine? Are they whatever? That person doesn't even know it. But it's because of the trust they had, the person interviewing has in me, but also because of my connection and my relationships with those people, that I get more than just what someone would show up and look like in an interview. That's to me the magic of what we're talking about, is those connections and those relationships that are being built, that are building way more than what's happening when we're just doing this face-to-face stuff.
Beautifully said, Jen. We'll close out with Yesenia's love that she's given us. Great topic. She loved it. And Jim says, definitely need the Dallas happy hour. So y'all want to have some conversation with us? We're going to be on the Clubhouse after party. The link is in the chat. If you haven't done it before, it's not that scary. Click the button. We won't see your face, so you don't have to get dressed up or anything. We're just going to be able to actually have a real conversation back and forth. This was awesome. Jen, thank you for not bullying me around like you normally do. And the rest of y'all, be good, do good things, and we'll talk to you next time.
Yes.
Peace.